And now my camera's not coming on. That's not nice. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to see you all and be able to be here with you all for iMatter Live. So excited, so excited. Tonight, we are going to be here with our amazing contributing writer, Miss Jenelle the Model. Hey, Jenelle.
Hello, hello, hello.
Janelle, talk to. I'm amazing. I am working with this camera because it is not showing me. Oh, you know what?
There you go. Yes, yes. I said me a little silent prayer. I was like, come on, Lord, with the technology.
You know what it is. So I got upgraded. So we're just gonna talk like family, right? We're gonna talk like family. I upgraded my I had computer issues back in December with my old trusty, faithful one that was not really doing its job, but I knew how to manipulate it to get what I needed to get done. And one night in December, it just crashed on me. It was not working. It would not come on. And my life is on my laptop, like all the magazines, all my books, everything. And so let me stop share. And so I was panicking because I was like, no, only some of the stuff was backed up and I don't know half of what is on there. And I end up buying another one, and the old one started acting right. So I continued to work with that so I can move faster and still produce. And I said, I'll figure out the new one later. 4 months later, 2 days ago, it crashed again. And I'm in the middle of so many projects and it wasn't backed up on my external hard drive. So I said, let me open up this new one. Come to find out, this new one has a touch screen. Listen, it's all this gadgets and stuff. And here's the lesson. I posted it earlier because this is what we talk about in iMatter magazine. So I'm not rambling. I'm right on point. Sometimes we settle for less and we adapt to mediocrity for things that don't meet our standard. And God has an upgrade waiting for us. My upgrade was sitting on the counter for 4 months. And I'm sitting here trying to, fix this, do that, and, do everything to just meet mediocrity. And so with this one, it was like, why is this not working? And I went to go rub the camera to make sure there wasn't any film on it. And because it's touchscreen, you have to push. You have to initiate and engage in the object or on this laptop that you want, and it just popped on. So I'm learning all these life lessons and everything. So that'll probably be in my editor-in-chief message for the next issue that comes out in May.
Okay.
But tonight, tonight, I'm gonna share it on Facebook and share it on your page.
Well, you need to make sure that your post is public, because I just got a message from someone saying that they can't click it.
I'm about to right now. That's what I was saying. I said, let me share it and make sure everything is right on Facebook because I get the rambling. And it is.
Yes, we want the people to be a part of it. Amen.
Yes, edit privacy. There we go. It is public. I'm over here dancing and ain't even got it public. Okay. And I am sharing it, and you can share it from my page, from Sherelle Diamond Hogan's. I'm going to share it on iMatter's page so that it will be on the magazine's page too. There we go. And we are live. And so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, all across the world, we have with us the contributing writer, Jenelle the Model. Oh, wait a minute, it's in print. Ooh, baby, when I tell you to hold this thing in my hands.
Yes.
after all these years, all these other issues, and for it to be as phenomenal as it is, yes, Ruby, life lessons in technology. So this magazine is amazing. And tonight we have contributing authors, and this is Jenelle's page. This is the contributing writers page. And Jenelle the Model is right there in the corner. Tonight we are going to get into it, and we are going to discuss your article. Now, iMatter magazine is about providing hope and resources through various avenues to help people create an environment that they can thrive in.
Mm-hmm.
And your article, Addicted to Being Thin, and the battles you face as a professional model. So I just want you to talk about that. I'm gonna pass the microphone over to you. I'm gonna mute myself, but I just want to say I appreciate you for your vulnerability. I know you have a lot of titles and positions, but what I truly love about you is you are genuinely you, and you don't operate because of titles. Titles are given to you and bestowed on you,
Right.
But you're always doing the work. You're always genuine. You're always passionate. And that's the people I rock with. Everybody's like, oh, I want to be in a magazine. I want to be in a magazine. I'm like, I know. Thank you for your interest.
Right.
At this time, we are full because it has to complement. It has to complement the vision,
Right.
and ours. I love everybody's other magazines and stuff, but I want to stay true to our platform. And so without further ado, round of applause for contributing published author, published writer in a magazine and so many other titles, Miss Jenelle Thompson, AKA Jenelle the Model.
Yes. Hey everyone. I'm so just honored to be here tonight. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I think in a reel I posted on Instagram, I was like, how long have we known each other? I mean, we go back at least like almost like maybe 15, as long as my son has been alive, and he's gonna be like 16 soon, so it's been that long. And I was saying that Sherelle and I, we actually, this is not our first time being published together. Like we actually did some books together, Twisted Pleasures, and just other things, sharing our testimonies that we both had pertaining to domestic violence. But and that is a part of my story as well. But when Sherelle first asked me to be in the magazine, Jesus, thank you, Lord. It was like, I told her it was so hard for me to write about myself, to share my story. And even when I had submitted the article to you, you thought that I was going to talk from that perspective about the domestic violence and but yes, that's a part of my story. That's but this is the true testimony. This is the true, story. And, God was like, because that is part of who Jenelle the Model is, that is what you are to always share. Not to say that I'm, not ever going to share that. I'm going to share whatever he tells me, but because where we are now, so many young ladies and just, the journey with how you see yourself and just the image is, that's where God, just has me. So, let's see, I've been, I've been modeling. Well, I'm not modeling in the industry any longer. But I still, and that's something that God, said. He's like, you may not be a model in the worldly industry. He's like, but you are my model. So yes, you still call yourself a model. I was like, okay, all right, Holy Spirit, check me.
Came up with that hashtag and I was screaming because I'm such a wordy person. And I think you were just talking on Facebook one time and hashtag model that. And I flipped out because it wasn't just about the the title of being a model or that,
Right.
but it was the play on words that was just so phenomenal. I was like, girl, you better do that. I know I was shooting fire emojis and probably inboxed you, but
I remember that.
so on it. I was like, yo, she in it. You can
Yes.
always tell somebody who's in tune with God and what they doing and they walking in their purpose. I was like, yo, she in it. Model that. I say, girl, you better do something with that. That is so phenomenal. So go ahead, because I can talk, but that was so, I remember that moment. I remember
It's okay.
that moment
It's okay. You know, so just, you know, just sharing, so all right, so let me ask you this. Where do you want me to start? I mean, because I'm not going to give the whole, but you know, for the most part, I'm well, I think I might have shrunk. As you get older, sometimes I've learned that you start to get a little shorter. I don't know why. I got to talk to the Lord about that. But so I'm 5'6", and you know, in the world, or you know, in the modeling industry, standard is like 5'7", 5'8".
Okay.
So I was crushed because I was like, okay, well, I really, really want to model. So how can I be a model if I'm not, you know, that size?
Right.
So, you know, I figured out, I went to one of those modeling schools, and they, you know, were sharing things that you had to do. And I really, really, really tried to get into it, but it wasn't happening. So what I thought was that if I was thin enough, they would overlook my height. They'd be like, you know what? Because I would, you know, I would get the compliments, you know, how it was beautiful, dressed nice. So I said, okay, well, if I, you know, am skinny enough, they'll be like, okay, you know what? She's a little short, but she could walk. She could fit that, you know. So that's where the, you know, the fixation, I guess, started, you know, and this was maybe in high school. I think, yeah, it was probably in high school. I've always had the dream of being a model, but really, you know, pushing and pursuing, that's when I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna starve myself. I'm gonna make sure that if I can't meet the height requirements, I'll meet the weight requirements.
Right.
So, you know, so that's pretty much where it got started. That's pretty much, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was just saying that in working with the youth, you know, at a young age, body image, you know, bad, unhealthy perspectives of body image really, you know, start to show.
Right.
And so what I was so grateful for was, even though I knew you as, you know, a model and your background of being a domestic violence survivor, I was so grateful when you sent the article to me, because as you said, I was expecting an article about this and like where you are now and thriving. And when you sent that, I was like, wow, because you never know someone's story.
Yeah.
And we have launched the college edition of iMatter magazine. So that's high school, college age, and post grad, right? So your story, your article was so on point to be able to cross over to multiple audiences to talk about, because even though we talk about this, and I'm 46, so I'm not sure, like we around the same age.
Yeah,
right?
we the same age, yep.
So, but as we're dealing with the trauma of something that happened in our preteen and teen years, which most trauma does happen at that time, we're still dealing with the after effects of that in our late stages of life. But if we can get information to help people where we were when trauma initiated, then maybe at least if we can equip them with the information and educate them and let them know that, hey, this is not the way to go. I feel you, I see you, I've been through it, I know exactly what you're going through. So you're not alone, and you don't have to wait 20 years to be successful. You can get this information and be, you know, be victorious now. So your article will be also used for the college edition and the college audience, because that's where they are.
And
that's where they are.
That's where a lot of the eating disorder spiraled into something else.
Yeah, social acceptance.
Yeah.
So I want you to get into how it spiraled in the other part of your article, but peer being accepted by your peers at a young age, you
Mhm.
know, is so intense. So intense. Everybody wants to fit in. They want to be, they want to
Mhm.
be a part of the in crowd. They don't want to be ostracized. They don't want to be made fun of, you know, especially if you're on a thicker side and
Right, right.
everything you get. And you know, even if you're small, like even the smaller people have like there's layers to that. Oh, I'm a
Yes.
2, well, I'm a 0. I'm like,
Right.
yo, I'm a 2 and a 0. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what y'all fighting over, but I'm a 2 and a 0 together. But you know, that it starts there, and like people go to the extreme to try to fit in because they don't, one, they don't accept themselves or don't value themselves and
Right.
embrace their uniqueness and differences. They want to fit in with everyone
Mhm.
else instead of standing out with their differences. And the other one is, you know, they just want to, fit in with other people, and say
Right.
they go through extreme measures to try to fit in, to the point where they may harm themselves to the point of death, or
Yes.
you know, really harm their body with pills and everything else, where they end up having ulcers, the
Mhm.
vomiting and everything else. So we'll get into that. But so now it exploded. You're having these issues with yourself. You're trying to fit in with your dream. And you're willing to do anything it takes, right? So now you have this opportunity. How did it intensify? Like, how did it intensify, and what did that do to your mindset and your quality of life?
So it intensified because I went away to college. So my senior year of high school, excuse me, I kind of got caught having the eating disorder. So
Mm,
my mom, she didn't understand what was going on. So, you know, she took me to um a a counselor just to, you know, kind of talk it through what's going on. I knew how to play the game. I knew what to say, how to say it to, so where it looked like at the end of my therapy session, I was fine. I wasn't.
right.
So when I went away to college, I was on my own. So I didn't have my mother, you know, making sure I eat. I didn't have to check in with the therapist. I didn't have to write in my food journal, you know, like, so I was by myself. So how
Janelle, before you move on, because some people may have not read the article,
okay.
and we went from you being addicted to being thin and maximizing your thinness and your walk so that it would not put a spotlight on your height. But then we went into counseling. So how, when it spiraled out of control, what eating disorder were you dealing with? So let's talk about, name those two, what they are, and then let's talk about how it went from there.
Sure. So at first, I dealt with anorexia nervosa. So I would starve myself. I would
Mm,
starve myself, wouldn't eat, wouldn't do anything like that. So then after you know, as it progressed, then I became bulimic, where I said, okay, you know what, maybe I do need to eat something just to have some type of nourishment, but then I would throw it up. So it was a progression of, you know, first anorexia and then bulimia.
mm, okay. And then so your mom took you to counseling, and how long did that go on? Like be
Um,
like time frame, couple of
that
years,
actually,
months?
no, that was a couple of months,
Okay.
surprising, because, you know, like I said, senior year found out. So then, you know, that was it. So that's, I was in that counseling just for, you know, that time frame. So not even a full year, was maybe, you know, a couple of months in my senior year of high school.
Okay. So after you had counseling, then you went to college and you were on your own. It was,
Yes,
so did that spiral even more because you
it
had
it
more?
it did. It definitely did. And it definitely spiraled even more. You know, and the group of friends, you know, family who I was connected with, they of course were concerned, you know, but they they really couldn't say anything to me. It was, you know, how most people um you know, they would say something and then it would just be like, oh, you know, I'm not that. I knew how to, oh no, I'm not hungry, I ate already, or different things like that. So I would kind of like, you know, push them off. But you know, freshman year, it was just, you know, it was like it was a slow progression throughout, you know, my 5 5 years of college. I was on the 5-year plan.
That's
Yes,
all right. That's what you
I
were
was
taking
on
the
the
scenic
5-year
route.
plan
You were
in
taking the
college.
scenic route, sis. That's what that
Yes,
is. You were
yes,
taking the scenic route.
yes, I was.
So what was, if you can remember, what was going through your mind of how you saw yourself, how you valued yourself? Because what presents to the public is so much deeper than that. So it's, I understand that you were, you know, you wanted to fit in and this was your dream, but
Right.
how did you not see yourself as thin? What size were you? What weight were you? Because that really stood out in the article, that your weight, and you still thought that you were not thin enough.
Yeah, I was size 02, you know, barely pushing 100. And I mean, you know, I saw myself so ugly. And there was, you know, there were a couple of times where I would like cut my face because I wanted everyone to see how I saw myself.
Mm,
So I'm like, you know, you're talking about, oh, you're so beautiful. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who are you looking at? So I would take like, you know how I'm dating myself, lady. Young people, y'all might not know about this, but you know, when you have to clean up your eyebrows, that little razor, I had one of those, and I would like just cut my face because I wanted people to see how I saw myself. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, you're so beautiful. No, no, you're not. No, I'm not. Look at me. Look, don't you?
mm,
So I really, really did not see myself in a beautiful light.
mm. I'm pausing because even at 46, I've had to embrace when, and there's no age to trauma. There's
No.
no age to trauma. And so like even at 46, when people like, hey, beautiful, in my head, I'm like, if you only knew how many gray hairs underneath this wig or I'm dealing with,
Okay.
or what I ain't had to struggle to put on to put, oh, you look nice. You know what I had to struggle to pull this thing together. So I get that. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that your conversation that we're having, it doesn't just have to be for one age group, wherever
Right.
you are in your life, how you see yourself, how you value yourself, how you, the relationship you have with yourself will be projected in
Mm-hmm.
every area of your life. It will
Yeah.
be, it will come out. And you know, when you're hurting on the inside, no matter how hard you try to disguise it,
Mm-hmm.
it oozes out of you, it seeps out of you, and it shows up in different places, and you
Right.
become so desperate to, you want people to notice because you want people to hear your inward cry, but you
Yeah.
really don't want people to notice because it brings attention to what you're trying to hide in,
Right.
you
Exactly.
know? So it's that constant battle.
Mm-hmm.
What body dysmorphic, there's a lot of you said you were cutting your face though.
Yeah.
That's different for me because I know a lot of times when I deal with trauma as a trauma coach and everything, that you know, most people hide their cuts in places where people can't see
Right.
because they're trying to relieve the pain. And let me pause. For anyone watching this that may be triggered by the things that we're saying, I want you to make sure that you are taking care of yourself,
Yeah.
that you are in tune with yourself. Take some deep breaths, get some water, understand if you have to walk away. One of the reasons why we do iMatter magazine is to talk about the stuff that people don't talk about. It's easy to put on a wig and some makeup and hide all your
Come
ugly
on.
stuff, but we want to really give you the tools that you need to be able to create an environment that you can thrive in and be in. You can breathe in
Yeah.
and not have to hide in your
Mhm.
stuff or behind stuff to be to be functioning in society.
Right.
So we deal with the tough topics. We talk about stuff, but I also want to be mindful that sometimes it can trigger people who are still in it.
Right.
So even though we talk about Jenelle dealing with anorexia and bulimia when she was in her teenage and college years,
Mm-hmm.
there's some people of all ages still dealing with this.
Right.
And the reasons why she dealt with that that's kind of a universal thing. How
Definitely.
you value yourself, you don't see yourself
Mhm.
as pretty, you don't see yourself as beautiful. So that's like a universal thing that is, not specific to an age, race,
Right,
color,
right.
pay rate.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that. So we want to make sure that we want to give you hugs, tell you
Yes.
it's going to be okay. We're here for you. We're here with you. Take a couple of deep breaths if you feel like your body responding to, what we're saying. Know that you are in a safe place. Nobody's going to put you on blast. We're telling our business so
Right.
that you can know that you are not alone. Because a lot of these situations that we don't deal with, they make us feel like we're isolated,
Mm-hmm.
that it's only us. It only
Right.
happens to us, but it's
Right.
not only you. This is a universal issue. And
Mm-hmm.
we want to make sure that you get the resources that you need, the education and the resources, because we want to empower you to come up out of where you are, to not only survive it, but there's another level called thriving that we
Yes.
want you to put your eyes on so that you can start making marks towards that. So we appreciate you. Love you. Hugs.
Yes.
Hugs, but we want to get into some deep stuff tonight. So you're cutting yourself
Mm-hmm.
and in your face.
Yeah. Because
What?
that's the thing that everyone always was attracted to. They and that was what everyone, would compliment. That's what everyone would say. So I had to get them to see the way that I saw. So if you saw my face as ugly, if you saw that, then you wouldn't call me beautiful. You wouldn't. So that's why I cut my face.
I'm trying not to be the trauma coach. So there's something so much deeper than you want. You want to be a model. You want people looking at you. You
Right.
want to be the center of stage, but then now you want to cut the thing that they're attracted to that will kind of eliminate you from being that model.
Mm.
What was behind all of that? Like, you didn't see did you ever get to the root of why you didn't value yourself? Because the anorexia and the bulimia was an outlet.
Right.
But did you ever get to the root of why you didn't feel beautiful? You didn't see yourself as beautiful. You saw yourself as ugly. Because if it's not anorexia or bulimia, even if that gets fixed, let me tell y'all something. You
Mm-hmm.
fix one thing, you will find another unhealthy coping mechanism
Yep.
if you don't get to the root of it.
Yep.
But did you ever get to the root of that?
Well, what's very interesting in just even as you're talking, something that Holy Spirit just said to me, a lot of times when young ladies or people are confident, people see that as conceited. People see that as arrogant. So they try and not dumb it down, but make them, no, I'm
Right.
not.
Yep.
So I think so, him just bringing that to me, that's probably what it was. Because there was a time, I was confident, and I did, but because people always saw, and I'm quiet, and even, I was raised in a, two-parent home, different things. So I never presented myself as like conceited or better than anyone, but people projected that towards me so I, caught what they were throwing out. And then I was just like, okay, you know what? Well, maybe I am. So let me dumb myself down or downplay myself so that you don't see me as conceited, so that you don't have me think I think I'm all of that. No, I don't think I'm nothing. But
Right.
y'all are making it that way. So I'm going to make you think that I'm not thinking that, so it's just, so as you were talking, that's just what Holy Spirit dropped in me. He was like, it's you were confident. You were, positive in who you were, but because others saw you as a threat, like what kind of threat am I at 13, at 14? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
But because of that, you kind of were just like, okay, well, let me try and fit in. Let me do the bad girl thing. Let me cut school so you think I'm cool. Those
Yeah.
type of things. So
Peer
I think that's where
pressure.
it came from.
That peer pressure and other people projecting their insecurities or their thoughts and perceptions on you. It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot, especially when you are a teenager trying to navigate through your own life,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to take on somebody else's stuff, you
Right.
know, and
Mm-hmm.
it's people that you hold near and dear, you value, you look up to, and it's like, okay, am I being that way? And it makes you question every move that you take.
Yeah.
And then they end up, molding you into who they want you to be. And you
Mm-hmm.
never discover who you genuinely are. Your
Yeah.
identity is so lost in what they want you to be, how they want you to be. And so, okay, I'm gonna do what you say while I'm
Right.
trying to figure me out over
Right.
here. But in the midst of that, we get caught up in so many traps,
Mm-hmm.
so many traps.
Yeah.
100 pounds,
Yes.
anorexic,
Yep.
then you start having issues with bulimia,
Mm-hmm.
which can lead to some health issues.
Yeah.
Right. So did you encounter the health issues? Tell me about like the issues that you encountered. And then what was your breaking point where you had to do something different?
Some of the, the health issues that I encountered were just always, dizzy because I wasn't being properly nourished, because I was always lightheaded, wasn't feeling well. I bruised easily. So, if I bumped into a table, I had like a big knot on my thigh, because of that. Um, my breaking point, even when others would see me still, they would point it out, but it wasn't enough for me to change because it had a hold on me. It was almost like that was the thing that I had control over. Sounds so backwards.
Nope.
Even though it
No.
had control over me, I thought that I had control over it. But in hindsight, of course, thinking back now, like, girl, no, that thing had a chokehold on you. But it wasn't honestly until I met my husband that he started to just, show me, like, you know what? God didn't make you this way. He wasn't the type to just be like, he never said, of course he did say I was beautiful, but it was more so he was showing me how God saw me. And he was
Mhm.
showing me that, without trying to make me feel shameful, what I was doing was hurting God, because God created me specifically how he created, like, God knew how he created me. God knew what he did. So by me trying to, do everything to change that, I was saying God didn't know what he was doing. God made a mistake. So when he kind of said that, I was like, ooh. So that right there was kind of the, not kind of, but it didn't happen, of course, overnight,
Right.
but he worked with me, he kind of was just like, all right, let's, you want to, let's get something to eat. He understood we're not going to go to, the buffet and, get a whole big spread. But he was like, all right, you want to, just get some pancakes. And like, he would, sit there with me and we would take time and eat. And he would, like, so it was one of those things, because he knew as soon as I was done, like, he could
Right.
see me just like my feet, like, getting antsy, just like, and then he would be like, all right, so he would like engage me so I would get my mind distracted from
Right.
wanting to get up and throw up.
So
Like, he
you
would engage.
go
Go ahead.
ahead. No,
No,
go ahead.
no, I was done.
I apologize.
No,
So did you end up going the route of a clinic or any kind of treatment to assist you, or it was solely him and God that helped you get through it? Because some people do have to go through a clinic, have to go through treatment to help them learn how to eat again, to feel safe with food, to
right.
have a healthy relationship with food. So that antsiness,
Hmm.
they train their body to reject food.
Right.
So when you start eating, even though you may want to, your
Hmm.
body is already trained to reject it.
Right. No, I didn't. I didn't go through any clinic or anything. It was just, my husband and God who,
Wow.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm not saying that's going to be everyone's story,
Right.
because everyone has, but that's just because, I moved to New Jersey. So it was, all I knew was my husband. So, he was my trust.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know any place else to go. So I was just like, okay, I'm trusting you with this, so to speak. But he helped me. He really, he just, would point me to scriptures. And then, the church that, we were attending, the church that he grew up with, he had connected me with the pastors and some of the other ladies, and they embraced me. He kind of, explained to them without putting me on Front Street, but he was just like, minister to her, just remind her, just different things like that. So he helped a lot in showing me, how God saw me. And that was like the most important thing. And I always say that moment when he told me, you know, me wanting to change is me saying, God, you made a mistake in how you created me. I was like, oh, like I started crying. I was like, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing that, God loved you enough to put somebody in your path. It's not that many people who do. Usually we reject help. And some people actually hit a rock bottom moment of close to death because they are so malnourished. And when you
Yeah.
don't nourish your body, you're not feeding your cells and your tissues and your organs, such as your brain and your
Mhm.
kidney, and how your blood cells need to rejuvenate and all that other good stuff. So the whole bleeding, you bruise easily, and
Right.
being lightheaded, your blood pressure, that's your kidneys, your
Mhm.
brain, and your sugar can go crazy because you're really not giving your body the nutrients. So you're literally withering away. And
Right.
there's so many. There was a documentary I saw, and I can't remember the name of it, but like people do have this disorder where they
Mhm.
actually go to the extreme. Like they are so thin, all you see is bones.
Yeah.
And their bones constantly break because of the malnutrition. They don't have the calcium, the vitamin D. Their bones are very brittle. They can barely walk. They end
Mhm.
up in a coma, they end up in a wheelchair, and they wither away and transition.
Yeah.
I'm also a nurse. I'm sorry. So I'm
I was
also
just
a
I was
nurse.
just about to inject that. Like, she is a nurse. She's RN certified, so she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, board certified. I am also a nurse. So I want to read you guys something that Jenelle wrote in the magazine, in the print copy. So I'm excited. I had an addiction, and my drug of choice was either bulimia or anorexia. At first, it started out as an addiction to being thin. It quickly turned into something more. I was addicted to not eating. I was addicted to binging. I was addicted to purging. I was addicted to diet pills. I was addicted to the rush. I was addicted to the control. I was addicted to how I looked. I was addicted to the attention. I wanted to stop, or did I? I didn't think that it was a problem.
Mhm.
And I know we're talking about anorexia and bulimia, and not to deter from that, but how many of us think that we have things handled and
Yep.
it's not a problem? We have made it so much part of our identity and our behavior and our DNA and our character, and this is just who I am, that
Right.
is not a problem. It's a problem
Right.
for other people, but it's not a problem for me. I can handle this, until we spiral out of control. And that thing that we thought we was handling is handling
Mhm.
us
Yep.
real quick, real quick. So I want you to think about the things in your life that aren't right, aren't right. But just like I was talking about my laptop earlier, we
Mhm.
settle and we make it work.
Yeah.
We make it work. We settle for its mediocrity and living beneath our standards. and just dealing with it and making it work in our life. It's not a problem. I know how to deal with this. I got this. And what you think, and Jenelle has said it, I thought I was in control.
Yeah.
But it literally had control of me.
Right.
It was a phenomenal article. It truly was. It was a phenomenal article. So that was your teenage years. Took you to around how many years were you in that spiral?
Let's see. I met my husband when I was 26. So
Like 13 years.
yeah, 13 years.
Some people don't make it out that easy, sis.
Yeah.
So did you have any relapses, or did you say?
Oh, I had some relapses.
Okay.
You know, I didn't realize that they were relapses because I had it's them people that God be sending, the prophets of the Lord. No, but it was a couple of years back, and you know, because I used to be a certified personal trainer, and I kind of still, to an extent, you know, I would say, well, I don't really eat heavy before certain times, so I'm quick to make a smoothie, make a shake. That's like my go-to thing, and that started to be my go-to thing, but I didn't realize that it was going a different way until you know, this one person said, they were like, how's your eating? She was like, mm-mm. I was like, ma'am, you know, when you get checked, when you get checked, she was like, you're not eating. I was like, you know, what you talking about? Yes, I am. No, she was like, you're drinking. I'm like, ma'am, what? She was like, calm down. She was like, you're just drinking smoothie. So then I was like, okay. She said, no, your body needs to eat. And one of her spiritual daughters is I think she's like a certified nutritionist. So she was explaining to me the how, and my sister who's on here, Ruby Jackson, she's, you know, she's also a scientist, but just explaining to me how the body, like, you have to chew it because, you know, breakdown and all this other scientific stuff I can't get into, that I don't, you know, that's not my lane. But what she was saying was that my body, I had stopped training my body to chew. I was just the smoothies, even though, you know, they were nourishing my body. And something that I even noticed is I always chewed gum. And I was like, well, I'm chewing gum. That, you know, she was like, no, you have to eat. And that was kind of like the relapse, but I didn't think it was a relapse.
Yeah. You were bargaining.
Yeah.
It's what we do. We bargain. I'm going to do this. And I'm doing something, I'm eating, I'm getting my nutrients in, but you're still missing steps. And that's what we do in life. I love when we talk about stuff because it is so universal. It doesn't matter what your it is, it will break down and you will see a consistent pattern of unhealthiness that we make into our reality, make into our standard for life. And so I'm not doing this. I'm doing better. I'm doing this. And we bargain and we never make it takes a lot to make that clean break. It takes a lot of discipline and consistency and know-how and support to make that clean break where you're no longer bargaining your quality of life. And this is what I want people to understand, that there's a quality of life that that is available to you. And we don't have to get by with scraps and make do. There's an abundance of life, an abundance of a quality of life that's available to us. And because of life circumstances and experiences, we've downgraded our life to just surviving. We've downgraded our life, our quality of life, to just getting by, making do. And we don't want to think big, dream big because of stuff we've been through. No, I'm good over here. Or maybe I'll just do a little bit more so I'm not broke, poor, broke financially, physically, mentally, emotionally. I'll make a couple of strides, but I'm not going to go too far because that's kind of out of my reach.
Right.
You bargain so much of your quality of life away that you don't feel entitled to it. You don't feel entitled to it. because of things that have happened to you or things you personally done in your life. You know, but there's so much more. So I'm gonna stop and get back to what we're talking about. But we bargain.
Yeah.
We bargain. And it takes somebody to step to us and look you in your eyes. Say, no, you can tell that to somebody who don't care, who don't see, who
That's
don't
it.
know.
That's
But
it.
because I care, boo-boo. So this is what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to eat something. And I'm going to be here. You might shake. Your knees might shake.
Right.
You may get that, you know, that anxiety going on. But that's when you have to learn and embrace coping mechanisms of the breathing,
Right.
you know, drinking water, or just, you know, get people who support you and be vulnerable with the right group. But you got to want it yourself.
That's it.
You got to want it yourself, and you got to want to do the work, because you never know how far back on the road or how deep down you have gotten in life until you look up.
Yep.
And that climb, honey, that climb ain't no joke. It's no joke when you gotta climb just to get to back to the baseline.
Yeah. Yep.
To get back to the baseline, that deep ditch that you've allowed yourself to be in, either voluntarily or involuntarily, when you ready to rock and you ready to do this, you look up and then it's like, it was enough mental stress to try to get to the decision. But now you got to get grit and grindy and put some muscle into it. And now you look up and it's like you're in a well and you can't even see the light.
Right.
All you know is just one hand at a time, one foot at a time. I got to keep going. But that means you're going to have to come up with a plan.
Right.
A plan of action. You're going to have support. You're going to have to get some healthy coping mechanisms that will replace the unhealthy coping mechanisms, because you've made that your lifestyle.
Right.
Your thoughts, your actions became your behavior, and your behaviors became a lifestyle. And now you got to backtrack. You got to eradicate all of that, get rid of all of that, and start elementary style. Start from the beginning, because I'm so it's automatic. I respond this way, but I can't do that no more because it got me the same results. I need to go a different way. I want something different. So when your body wants to respond, or, you know, for Jenelle, the anorexia or the bulimia, you got to have that mental strength and have those tools there to be able to say, okay, I can't respond this way, but God will give you a replacement. Give you another tool that you can utilize that will keep you safe, but also get you to where your goals are. But it's going to take you to have a buy-in for you. Nothing changes until you buy into yourself. And you're willing to do the work and develop a team. It may be one, it may be a couple, it may just be you. But your hunger for yourself and the best version of yourself has to come from an internal thing. Coaches can coach, but they need a team player on the team, sis. You know what I mean? We need team players. I'm excited, so I'm gonna stop because I'm just so excited about this, because I know my passion. Yeah. My passion to help people come, because I know, sis, I know some dark places. Yeah. I know. I got this tingle on my neck. I know some dark places that some people didn't survive from. I barely survived from them. So to be where I'm at on whatever level, I want to shed some light. I want to mark on the wall that somebody else was here, like hieroglyphics, so that people know that they are not alone, because it gets really dark real fast. And the darkness lasts for a long time. Sometimes, like daylight seems like it never comes. I work night shifts sometimes. So night shift is like, oh my God, it's still dark. It's still dark. Oh my God, it's still dark. You know, what is happening? But that's how it is when you're awake and living life. You go through seasons and years of darkness, waiting for light at a tunnel. But it's good to have people on your team. But again, if it's just you, and what I've learned in this season, it don't matter who else you have around you, always acknowledge that God is always with you. because
Yes.
those people are going through their darkness. They maybe not be answered a phone call. 911 may be busy. It may be other whatever excuse. But as long as you're in it, no, it's always three others in it. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Okay.
So if
All
you're
right.
in it, know it's
Yep.
a group of four.
Yep.
All right. If y'all get that, y'all get that, because we talk to everybody. But
Yes.
if you in it and you believe you ain't never by yourself, it's always a party of four.
Come on.
All right, we'll get that. We'll get that.
Come on. Yes. Yes.
Always a party of four. Table of four, because they'll
I
never
love
leave
it.
you. They'll never forsake you. They'll never, wherever you are, he is there with you.
Yes.
In your darkness, in your journey, in your victory circle. But baby, ain't no victory circle without that journey.
Mm.
There's no victory circle without the darkness. And whether it's anorexia, bulimia, whether it's self-doubt, insecurities, because trauma is designed to cue you at a young age. It's designed to get your mentality, it's designed to get your mental so dysfunctional, because everything you do after trauma attacks you at a young age. You build off of that.
Right.
Your mind ain't right. You can't fathom what life is. Your brain is not fully developed, but every decision is based off of that brokenness and off of that trauma. And then if you don't get help, if you don't get, resources and deal with that trauma, everything you build in life, every relationship, whether it's intimate, your job, your family, is built off of brokenness.
Yes.
And when you get into, when something intercedes or interjects later on in life, you gotta go back and around. You gotta go back and dig all that stuff up. You gotta dig. You gotta get all that stuff, the life you built off of brokenness. You gotta tear it all down and just build a new foundation based off of who you are, whose you are, your value, and what he says about you, and uproot all that negative stuff. I'm not good enough. I'm not ugly. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm too thick. I'm too that. What my mama said, my mama did. That's a root that's going to keep spreading, that you have to identify and pull up.
Yes.
No matter what your it is, you have to rebuild. You have to rebuild. So now let's talk about rebuilding. Let's talk about model that and life after the anorexia and the bulimia and the mental trauma and physical trauma that it caused you. What have you rebuilt from where you were?
Rebuilding, seeing myself how God sees me. Like I said before, although I'm not in the modeling industry in the world how I was before, I'm a model for Christ. I'm his model. I model intimacy. I model purity. I model holiness. I model righteousness. That I model kingdom lifestyle. So that is, model that I'm modeling being created in his image, after his likeness. So that's what I'm modeling, and just, taking that time to, allow him to mold me and to reshape me, and just, be okay with looking okay. Yes, because I created you that way, because it's for his glory. Because like you said, most people would look at me and be like, she's a model. What confidence issues does she have? And then it's like, oh, hold up, boo-boo, let's sit down and talk. And then it's an opportunity. Well, how? It wasn't anything that I did. It was all him.
So how do you give back to the community? What are some things that you do, taking this message of model that, taking your life experience? How do you help? How do you let your light shine? This magazine is not a Christian magazine. It's based off of Christ's principle, but you can't get away from the you can't get away from the context. But how do you allow yourself to multiply in the community? How do you take what you've been through and be able to help other people?
Sharing with, young ladies. Next week, actually, I'm doing something, and this is just the funniest thing. God is like you got to do this now because you've been having to do this for like ever. Confident in my skin. That's something that you probably saw when I put that hashtag out.
I
Even
did.
model that, just that's what it's about, being confident in your skin. So if you are, short, if you have, your ears are not perfectly aligned together, just being confident, because that's how God made you. And so if you have a blemish on your cheek, if you would, embracing that and being confident where other people would see that as oh, something's wrong with her, be like, no,
Yeah.
God made me this way. So then when you exude that confidence, whereas most people are like, how can your eyes are kind of like crooked, how are you? Because I know it's a trait that God gave me so that people can come to me and say, hey, listen, I got this quirky eye too. Like, how are you so confident about it? But I'm having a workshop next week just to pour into young ladies and just teaching them, and not necessarily saying there's a route or a method or anything to being confident, but it's just like, listen, this is how you've been created. You have been created uniquely. You have been created fearfully. You have been created beautifully, and just embracing that, talking about how they see themselves, and just
Yeah.
who they see as a role model, and why. Because sometimes, especially now, like our day, I'm trying to think, Whitney Houston was like a role model for us. Girls nowadays, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, you know what I'm saying? So why? Like, and really getting them to get to, like you were saying, the root of why they think that person is the role model. Is it because of the money? Is it because of the shape? Is it because of so that's ways that I pour into other young ladies during mentorship.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm so excited for you. I'm excited for the young girls, and I appreciate you giving the platform, the opportunity, and a space for them to come to you, because this world is got some stuff going on these days, and
Yes.
homes are not safe havens anymore.
You know,
They're not. They weren't as much back in the day. This, really deteriorated, but
right.
these days homes are not a safe haven anymore. And some people don't have an ally to talk to, even in their own home. It looks like, oh, you go talk to your mom or your dad, or you don't know what's happening behind closed doors. So to be able to provide a space.
Yeah.
I love talking to the younger kids, because talking to adults, you got to get through all the layers,
Yeah.
you got to get through
Yeah.
the layers of what
Kids
they
are
do.
straight no chaser.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the layers of their experiences and
Yeah.
who they now call themselves. But if you can get the tools and get confidence and get these tools to these younger kids, it gives them a fighting chance. Not saying they'll never go through anything, but when
Right.
they encounter it, they've been educated and given the knowledge to be able to combat it.
Yeah.
With healthy coping mechanisms, knowing I'm also a social emotional teacher. I got too many titles going on here. So, to identify their feelings and
Right.
to be able to choose a healthy action so that they don't spiral into violence towards others or violence towards themselves in various ways. So suicide is a last option in a sense, but there's so many other warning signs and so many other ways to do self-harm. We were talking about cutting earlier, and Jenelle mentioned cutting her face, but there are young girls and boys of all ages and races, because people don't think that colored people, brown skinned people cut themselves, but they do.
That's even one of the things that I wanted to speak out about regarding eating disorders, because they think it's a Caucasian thing. No,
Right.
it's not. It's a everyone thing. So that's especially one of the reasons why I wanted to speak out about that, because people are just, stereotype it to just one race. No, it's
right. And it's the concept of anorexia and bulimia is, and even cutting, I'm going to throw that in there, is it's televised and it's pushed in the wrong way.
right.
It's idolized. You know,
Yeah.
there's a movie on Netflix that I absolutely love, and I love that they touch on the subject, but the young girl cuts herself.
Mm.
And it even though it's telling a story, they do their due diligence at the end of the episode where they give you resources if you or someone, but it's very quick,
Yeah.
and it's very dangerous to touch on a subject and not do immediate intervention. And
Right.
I know they're telling a story and bringing awareness, but what if the person watching it never gets to see the next episode?
Yeah.
Not everything has a happy ending. Not everyone can watch a series to the end to see that, oh, she got help, she stayed
Yeah.
alive,
Yeah.
and this is
Yeah.
what you don't do. You know, it not everybody gets to that point. So we have to be very mindful of what we put out there, but be knowledgeable that there's so many platforms that are highlighting and idolizing a lot of trauma without proper training or assistance or education. And you know, it's so much can happen with cutting yourself or going too deep or going too far, and
Yeah.
that's not what they're showing. They're showing, oh, and actually she wasn't cutting herself, she was burning herself
Wow.
in places that you couldn't see.
Wow.
And even when a parent found out about it, there was nothing. It wasn't like an immediate intervention. It was a very delayed for a couple of episodes of
Wow.
something actually being done.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So, we have to be very careful, but we want to talk about these situations because, people can get harmed or not even, they don't live to hear the end of the story.
Yeah.
And so grateful that you survived 10 years of this, 13 years of this
Yeah.
before one person really intervened and, changed the trajectory of your life. But you doing confidence in my own skin, even the title. I tell people, even if you can't reach people directly, watch your words.
Yes. Oh
Because
my gosh.
that
Yes.
your word, confidence in my own skin, it plants a seed. Our
Yes.
magazine is called iMatter because it plants a seed. Even if you
Right.
say the name of it, like you ain't even gotta talk to me, but you looking, lurking,
Yep.
I matter. You ain't already said it got you.
Yep.
Got you, because you ain't already said
Exactly.
I matter. So now that's
Exactly.
already a seed in you. You know what I mean? So you really have to watch your words and be very mindful of the audience that you are in front of and what you give them, because these kids take things literally.
Yes, they do.
Reality TV is really reality for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to mimic that and get that for the virtual awareness or the attention.
Right.
Janelle said I was addicted to the attention. And with social media these days, with not even young girls, not even young people, but some adults, they're addicted
Yes.
to attention and they are willing to do anything. And now they got OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some young girls on there doing, it's young girls, young boys, they're doing because of attention. And now
Right.
there's a monetary reward for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just have to be very mindful of that. But I'm grateful for the so talk about what it is, because people are on. Is there any more space? What's happening
Yes.
there?
Yes,
So talk
there's
about
there's plenty of space. So it's going to be in person here in Philadelphia at the Great Awakenings Cafe next Saturday, the 22nd, from 5 to 7 p.m. I have the whole cafe just going to have fun. Got some, some icebreakers, getting to know young ladies and women, older ladies. So, I do want to impart, of course, to the preteens and teens, but I'm not cutting it off to, if there's some older ladies who would like to benefit from it, yes, that, because they too need to be confident. We all need to be confident in our skin. But so yeah, so you can I'm on all, social media platforms. You can go to my website, JenelleTheModel.com, and just get more information about it. Looking forward to it. I'm just really, really, really excited about it.
I appreciate you for being on. I so
Thank
appreciate you for being
you.
vulnerable and telling it like it is. I love it because we can talk. I love
Yes.
it. I love it. We want to open up the floor for anyone have any questions or comments. I'm watching social media
Yeah, I'm about
as
to go
well
there
as
now.
our people on chat. You can unmute yourself or raise your hand, and then I'll call you. You can unmute yourself and ask a question or leave a comment. Y'all been talking it up. Coach LaQuette, you are up first. She said, I got my hand up. I got it up first. So please unmute yourself, and then you can address Jenelle or myself. And if anybody else has anything, y'all been lighting this chat up, and I love it. I was trying to keep up with it. But Coach LaQuetta, you can unmute yourself and let's hear it.
Well, hello. I'm Coach LaQuita out of Dallas, Texas. Oh no, that's okay. And I was so happy to be a part of the chat to support my dear sister. I told her, I was like, I'm gonna be there. I just want to tell you, Coach Jenelle, you did outstanding.
Yes, you
It
did.
was a blessing to me. It blessed me so until you got a message in your inbox for an invite to my podcast. People definitely need to hear your story.
Praise God. All right. Yes, we'll talk. It's time.
It's time.
You know, it's one of those, you know, you always say cliche, but no, it's time, you know, and it's something that God has been like, all right, come on. But now, you know, I shared with a couple of people, my word for the year was tethered, which means to be tied to, but it seems like I have like a sub word, which is like the year of the stretching. But God is like, yes, I'm stretching you. Whew. But even in the stretching, you got to stay tethered to me. You got to stay tied to me.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yeah. So thank you too, Coach Sherelle. Y'all both just like the information was so powerful, so impactful. So I was just happy to be here. And thank you again, Coach Jenelle, for inviting me.
thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, Miss Vanessa. Miss Vanessa, you can unmute yourself. Thank you so much, Miss LaQuita. Coach LaQuita.
Wait, are you unmuted, Vanessa?
No, she's still muted.
Okay. Oh, wait. There you go.
I think I did.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, okay. Jenelle was my cousin, and to say that I am proud that she made it through. I hope I don't start crying, but it's just amazing. Her story is amazing, and I just want her to know I'm proud of you. I love you, and whatever you do in life, you know, I'm always behind you. I just wish I could be at your confident in my skin session, but I can't be there. So just know I'm there through the heart. And I just love you.
Oh, I love you too, Vanessa.
Oh, y'all got me all in my feelings.
I know, right? I'm about to cry.
Oh my goodness. All right, so any more questions or comments? We've had, I can't even go back. It was so many comments in the chat, and I was, you know, I was trying to read them, but they were going so fast while we were all talking and stuff. We have another hand raised. Miss Ruby Jackson, you can unmute yourself. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Vanessa, for sharing. We appreciate you.
Let's see.
Okay, thank you so much. This was just so amazing. Thank you, Sherelle. Thank you, Prophetess Jenelle, just for sharing your story. I got a chance to learn more about you. And I just wanted to remind you, I'm a STEM girl, so science, technology, engineering, math. And that word, like every time I hear you say the word tether, I imagine astronauts being on a rocket ship. And I just believe that God is, you know, taking you to places that you haven't been before, places that he's shown you, and that a rocket ship, like when it takes off, some of the things that it has on Earth, it doesn't necessarily have in outer space, and it needs repairs. It needs to be, you know, the astronauts have to go out and work on it. And I just believe like God is God is that ship and he's the one taking you. And when he says to be tethered, I just always imagine you like reaching out to like go help other people, and you're tethered to this rocket ship and it's just taking you, where God is intending you for you to go. So
Yes, yes,
You're gonna have
honey.
me crying too. Wow.
Yes. First of all, the church says manifest your dreams. I can read. I saw that. That
Yes.
was yeah. But yes, thank you so much. I think everything is lining up for you. You were already walking in purpose and at the, divine time, which I believe is now. Everything you already have stuff set up, and you had the article come out in the magazine. You got your, your girls you're meeting with. You're doing so many other things, so it's time just for, I call it walk heavy. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, I'm on this walk heavy
Walk
thing.
heavy.
Walk
Yeah.
heavy. And I'm gonna let you talk, and then I'll close off with walk heavy because I really want people to get that. Do you have any final words? I'll say thank you next time. It's your time.
No, I just wanted to, say thank you for our friendship, our connection. One thing that I, just always share, when it is truly a divine connection, regardless of how much time has elapsed, if it's the divine connection, it won't be like any time has passed. So I know, like in the beginning, we was like rocking heavy, and then, life was lifing. But when we reconnected, it wasn't like anything like we had to get to know each other. It was just like,
Right.
hey, girl, let's pick up from where, so thank you so much for just, being that constant, in my life. Thank you for asking me to share, pushing me, out of my comfort zone. Cause look, I'm fine, let me not say that, but I was fine where I was just being hidden. But I know that God is like, no, because model that, you can't be hidden when I'm calling you to model that, be out there. So,
Right.
but just thank you. And thank you to everyone who hung out with us either here in the Zoom or on Facebook Live. Just appreciate all the support and everything.
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. It's been amazing, Jenelle. And I tell everyone when they say, "Oh, thank you for thinking of me," I tell people, "Thank you for being you," because I can't invite you to do something if you're not already doing it. I
Right.
believe in collaborations, but I believe you need to be truly walking fully in your purpose for us to collaborate. I always say that legacies are made when passions collide and collaborate, but I need you to be running the same way,
Yeah.
partnerships, relationships. You want to have people who are running in the same direction. They're not sitting on a couch. They not shoulda, woulda, coulda. They not talking about it. You ask somebody like, no, I see you. I see you. God let me see my eyes on you. And even though we know each other for a long time, we haven't had a plethora. We haven't worked on every project together.
Right.
But when the purposes align, most definitely. Definitely.
Yes.
So I want to appreciate you always for your vulnerability, because even though you're on the other side of this, it was still a part of you. And you don't want to, some people don't want to tell their story. Like, I'm over it, I did it, I got it, I'm over it. I don't want to talk about that no more. But I'm grateful that God put that part on your heart.
Yeah.
That there was more to Jenelle than the person I met and I collaborated with before. I never knew that portion of you. And I'm grateful that you chose that topic to not only share with the adults in iMatter, but like I said, it's a crossover emerging with the college edition, that age group that we are now serving with the magazine, so that they can let their voices and their issues and obstacles be heard. And we give them the education and the resources and equip them to thrive in life also. But your message, it can easily cross over to them. So when we travel to be on these campuses and
Right
sit
now.
on these panels, we have proven people of purpose and substance
Yep.
to have a real conversation about real life issues.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. So closing with, thank you all for coming tonight. You can I want you to hear this, because it hit me around late October last year, as Many people see me as this strong person that does this, and she, radical, she does crazy stuff, and, blah, blah, blah. But there's always, a journey to get there. And no matter how confident other people see you, or even how you see yourself, there's level to this, right?
Yep.
And I still found, no matter how many accomplishments I've had, or wins I've had, or victories I've had, I still found myself wanting to help others do something that God gave me. You should do this. Or, God told me to do this, so I'll help you do it, but you be the face of it, because people reject me for doing it, because who am I to get it done? So I'll give you the idea, I'll do all the work, but as long as you be the face of it, how can I assist you? Because I want to be hidden too. I'm behind the scenes. What you need me to do? You want me to go on stage? No, I'll help everything else behind the scenes. And, there's this portion in the Bible. It says that Adam heard God walking through the garden.
Mm-hmm.
He heard him before he even heard him.
Yeah.
What's on the inside of you
Mm.
is too heavy and too powerful for you to walk through this life
Ooh.
tiptoeing with your head down, being passive, and just staying in the background.
Mm.
You got to walk heavy.
Yes.
You got to walk like you got some weight on you. And for me, I'm saying that's why God gave me this girth. You know what I mean? Naturally. Because when I go and I need a seat on the bus and my feet hurt, and when I was taking the bus and my feet hurt and I need to sit down, and you know how those seats are real, you got somebody here, and somebody smaller can sit there. Boo-boo. I'm tired. So I sit down, and then y'all gonna have to adjust. Walk through this life like you are heavy, and make the world adjust to your girth.
Jesus.
You cannot walk timid. You cannot be passive. You can no longer hold your head down. You got too much in you.
Yes.
Too much world-changing capabilities. Even if it's not world-changing, if it changes one, it changes the world, because you don't know who they're going to come in contact with.
That's it.
You got to be bold enough to put your head up. And when you walk in the room, I can walk in the room and not say nothing. But my aura and my light, somebody say something about that girl all the time. Like, who is that? What is she? I'll be laughing. Oh, girl, your shoes cute. I'm just me being me. But there's something about me when I walk in a room, even with strangers, that my aura gives off this thing like something's going on with that girl. You can't hide the light on the hill, baby. And I operate at a high frequency. I'm that high voltage bulb. You understand me? So I can't hide that any longer. You will always operate. You will never operate at your highest frequency if you always dimming your own light. It ain't the outside doing it. We do it to ourselves. And when you dare to walk heavy, when you dare to walk boldly in who you were called to be without apology, being as genuine as you can be, the earth will shake when you walk. I say when you walk heavy, unstable things get unstable things. What I say, when you walk heavy, unstable things start to shake. In the natural, right? If there's something happens, anything that's not stable will wobble, fall off, right? If you dare to walk heavy, when you enter any environment, unstable things will start to shake because they know something's happening. And it's time for us radical believers to walk heavy and let the unstable things know that we in the room. We showed up because we're here to put things back in order. We got to walk heavy. That's all I'm going to say. I hope y'all go and I hope you got in the article. It was available in digital. It is now available in print. You have no idea how I'm about to cry just think about this, but the magazine, so we have multiple issues and I'm starting backwards. but the current issues are in print. Jenelle's magazine with this cover, the college magazine. Let me tell you, and it's beautiful. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. It's beautiful, it's colorful. The teenagers did an amazing job. You see this cover?
That's
And we want
nice.
to honor Braxton. Braxton passed away, she transitioned, but her mother and her family allowed me to honor her in this magazine, and I so appreciate that family. But you know, all the magazines are where all the other editions of the magazine are going to be formatted so they too can be in print. So, but the current ones are in print. I was looking for the other one. The current ones in print. You can go to, I put it in the chat. I will put it on our social media pages, but you can go to www.sherellediamondhogans.com or radicalpublication.com, and it will take
Radical with a K.
I'm sorry, thank you. See, that's why I love you, girl. Radical with a K, RADIKAL, radicalpublication, no S.com. And we will put it in all the chats and everything. Jenelle, I'm not sure. I know Jenelle has access to the digital, so you can go directly to her to purchase it, to support her. And you can get the print. We'll talk about that, but either through her or through me. It doesn't matter. I love to be able to support people, but you can go there and get it, or talk to Jenelle directly and support her directly by purchasing through her. I so appreciate y'all. We have books and other resources. Here's Jenelle's book. I so appreciate it. Look, Twisted Pleasures. This is the one that Jenelle is in. So I always have my stuff with me. Twisted Pleasures, other books, other magazines. I thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to get the current issue, and soon our past issues, which are they're not time sensitive. The information in there can rock for years, and they will soon be in print, but they are available in digital on the website. Look forward to our new issue coming out in May, and so many other things happening. If you are in the tri-state area, I also write movies. I also produce, direct, all the other stuff. So we have a movie day on May 20th. Two of my movies are in the movie theater in Newark, Delaware, on UD campus, University of Delaware campus. We are having movie day where two of my films are on the big screen. On the big screen. I love y'all. Go get iMatter. Know that you matter, and you have always been, and you always will be more than enough. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Al, you want to heart? Love y'all. Thank you so much for joining in. We appreciate
Thank you.